Come on here.
Hello and welcome to Stretty News TV for the preview against Crystal Palace. I'm joined by Pasha and Johnny Escott. Johnny, going into the game confident after the loss to City on the weekend?
Yeah, I don't think the performance was bad by any means. I mean, we're down to 10 men for what was it turned out to be about an hour.
Yeah.
And we did well. City claimed to be the second best team in the league, yet couldn't really take apart the so-called 10th worst team in the league. So, I mean, that can only be a positive, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. And just on confidence, Pasha, City, they really didn't really show that they were that superior to us as we were down to 10 men. Palace shouldn't be as tough, and we should be getting 3 points, no more slip-ups.
Yeah,
Might be a case
definitely.
of we play well against the bigger team.
Yeah, Palace just has like one win away, and they have 2 draws and 2 losses. And unfortunately, obviously Zaha can't play against us because he's out on loan. But obviously we have our own former Fraser Campbell from our academy that obviously is going to start with him with Jamak, and he has the most goals, 3 goals for them this season. And yesterday when they lost to Sunderland 3-1. They missed out on one of their rising talents, Mal Jedinak, the captain of Crystal Palace and Australia. He's out with a red card. So him and the Leslie duo will definitely be out in the sea, whoever he's going to fill his gap, because he's a vital player for them. But end of the day, it'll be awesome because we'll see the former Scouser, Martin Kelly, against Abdi Maria. And he won't be, and that's going to be something special to see because he's going to just fly past him. Probably, and I think, obviously, everything's better than the Moyes that are right now. You see the improvement. Down to 10 men against a champions City, and if any City fan is watching this, I do want to say congratulations on getting your first sellout. Thanks to United fans, But I do want to say one thing is that everything is improvement, everything is a process. Next year we'll be challenging for the title. We challenge for the title every day, but the biggest thing I do want to say, Arsenal and Liverpool this season is much more important wins for us than to see Man City and Chelsea per se.
But there's definitely encouraging signs, and you've just touched on how Palace are the captain. They can't play Zaha because he's
exactly.
Johnny, we've some players missing too through injury, especially in the back four. How can you line up with that in mind?
Well, I heard today that Johnny Evans is fit, which can be a positive. It's nice to have someone fit for once. So obviously Johnny Evans, and probably I'd have to say Paddy McNair. I mean, he's done nothing wrong. I mean, he did his best against Aguero. Dare I say it? Their goal did come from Aguero dealing with McNair, but a lot of people can't defend like Aguero when he's in that thing. His movement is second. You're throwing an 18-year-old, 19-year-old kid in there, he's going to struggle as well. So I don't think we can blame him for that by any means. But like I said, in all the other games he's played, he's not made one mistake that I can think of. That header against West Ham was world class. If likes of Thiago Silva, there'd be back pages written of it because that header. But just because he's a young kid from Northern Ireland, he gets hardly any praise for it from the media. But yeah, I'd like to see Paddy McNair. I think Luke Shaw and hopefully Raphael's fit. Steve Valencia looks out of his depth at right back. He's just too eager to get forward and starts hesitating in the wrong places like he does when he plays right wing and gets on the edge of their box, but he's hesitating on the edge of our box and ultimately giving it away. I mean, Chris Smalling's red card, second yellow, I thought was down to Valencia being absolutely best.
Yeah, absolutely. Just had to step from somewhere. I've just seen while you were talking there, your picture pop with Tom Cleverley on the back of your shirt. I remember you having Ryan Tunnicliffe in the back of your shirt too. You have something for players that don't quite make.
I've had some
Johnny?
On me. Ryan Tunnicliffe.
I think the Wi-Fi is kind of for him.
No worries. I'll ask you the next question. So, with that in mind, how would you line up with the back four, Pasha?
The thing is, after Crystal Palace, we have Arsenal, so we need our back four to be consistent. I personally would have loved to play Paddy McNair because he was solid against West Ham and Everton, but because we have to play against Arsenal next week, I think it would be better to put Carrick there. And if Rafael is not fit, I would love to see Saidi Janko get called up from the academy because he's played in the academy right wing back, right wing. He's been absolutely phenomenal. He's my favorite player right now besides James Wilson from the youth academy. But my back four personally would be Saidi Janko if Rafael is not fit. Right center back, Michael Carrick. and left center back Blackett and Shaw.
Yeah, I think that's definitely an issue. Against City at the weekend, with Rafael not fit, they played Valencia, who didn't do too bad. But the problem is, Valencia is not a defender; he's a makeshift right back right now. And when Jonesy went out, or not Jonesy, when Smalling got sent off, Carrick came on as centre half, and our back four consists of just two defenders, and that's an issue, I think.
Exactly.
We are looking upon you. We brought in McNair and Blackett at times, but it is important as well that you don't fill it with too much inexperience, because when you're grinding out results, and sometimes it does get quite ugly against teams like Palace and so on, you need a bit of experience to hold on to that. Midfield wise, I'm going to go through the team with you. Johnny, midfield, how would you line up?
Well, Carrick looked back to his best, dare I say, as centre-back on Sunday. So I'm a big fan of the 4-3-3 sort of thing, if not 4-3-2-1 diamond. So have the usual. Personally, I'd have Herrera, Carrick, Blint, and then I'd have Fellaini, Di Maria, and then Falcao or Rooney up top. I'm not a fan of Van Persie at the moment, so I'd have to leave him out. But with that, you can change to a 4-2-4-1 sort of thing. 4-2-4. Oh, fuck knows, I've lost myself there.
Come on, do
4-2. Oh, it's this fucking vodka. Yeah, you get the gist. Yeah, you can revert to a few formations with them players in. So I'd like to see. I mean, Fellaini has to be the first one on the team sheet for me again. Thought he was tremendous on Sunday. Thought he kept Torre quiet for most of it. We didn't really see much of him until the second half when we were down at 10 men and struggling with legs. But Fellaini, Herrera, Blint, and Carrick, if they could all play, then I'd be happy. I mean, it gives. You could say it's too defensive in a way, but what we've been doing all season, conceding goals. So if we can stop that and then rely on the likes of Rooney, Fellaini, Di Maria, or Falcao, or whoever decides to put in the top 2, top 3 to score our goals. I mean, they're not exactly the 3 worst players you could ask to score goals, are they? So.
Pasha, midfielding up front, who are you going to go for?
Yeah, well, I know for a fact he's going to go with Robin Van Persie. I'll go with a 4-1-2-1-2. In the holding position, I'll see Daley Blind, right, Fellaini, left, Di Maria, and up top, in the hole, Wayne Rooney. I know he's going to go with, I think, because Falcao will probably be on the bench because he's coming back. I think actually he's going to probably go back with Mata in the hole. We're going to see Rooney and Robin Van Persie up top as a striker.
However,
that's another shout. I mean, I was about to say that too. I would fancy to see Herrera on the hole and see Rooney and RVP up top. But it'd be really cool to see James Wilson RVP up top with Rooney in the hole. But I do want to see Ander Herrera because he was absolutely phenomenal for Atletico Bilbao last season, and that's how he became a star player, was for them because in the number 10 role. So that's a good thing about United, is that most of our players, they play in a couple of positions, and that's what Louis Van Gaal wanted in the first place, to transition to players. If we wanted Herrera, we could transition to center mid in a tactical approach if something happens for whatever reason against Crystal Palace. But I do think it's great. Our squad depth is better. Last year, as soon as Fletcher got injured, we had to get the Holy Bible or whatever you believe on to not see Fletcher on or Carrick or, any of those sort of players. But now everything is getting settled and things are getting much better.
Johnny has left us. Hopefully he's back in a few moments, having a few problems with Wi-Fi and connection and so on. There's not really much we can say about this in terms of a preview. We can look at the team, what to expect, what to expect from Palace. At home, prediction, Pasha, I'm assuming you're going to go for a win, but in terms of the scoreline prediction, what are you going to say?
Every even though it's Crystal Palace, they're not doing too hot. Every English Premier League match is tough to begin with. Doesn't matter if they're bottom of the table. I personally think they're gonna lose 3-0. Just because it's at home, and right now we haven't lost in 4 matches at Old Trafford, so we're seeing that we're trying to make Old Trafford back as a fortress as it used to be. I personally think the only biggest problem in the Palace game would be Luke Shaw against Bolasie on the left-hand side, because I think he's absolutely one of their best players, and he just cuts in, drifts, and tries to try to make Luke Shaw frustrated to pick a red card out of him. But I certainly think so. Chamakh, obviously, he's ever since he left Arsenal, he hasn't been that great, obviously. But
he never played at Arsenal either. I think he did quite well at Bordeaux when he went to Arsenal.
He was heavily rated by Wenger, but obviously, for something, Wenger always likes French players and overhypes, and then once they get there, they're not supposedly what the player that he intended them to be. But
one of the questions we got sent in just on that, Danush, one of them, a very loyal viewer, Stretty News TV. Johnny touched on it before he went, and this is what he asked: which formation would you prefer to see at the weekend? 4-1-2-1-2 or 4-3-3? I'm going to stick my neck out and say 4-3-3. I think it's a very, very fluid system. It can get your passing spot on. At the start of the City game, it wasn't spot on. It was quite messy. But I do want to see Ander Herrera back in the fold. I know it's very hard to take Marlon Fellaini out of the side right now when he's playing so well. But Herrera came in and he's an exciting prospect. And that's what you want. Who do you take out? You take a sacrifice somewhere or other. Which formation would you prefer to see?
I mean, personally, 4-1-2-1-2. Because I think that's going to help us a lot, actually, to defeat the supply live of Leslie and whoever is going to fill in for Miles Jedinak against United. Personally, I would want to see 4-1-2-1-2 because I think that's a better chance to see Ander Herrera play as opposed to a 4-3-3. But as I said before, only two players on this team has a say. Whatever they want to say to Louis van Gaal is the personal relationship our VP has, and obviously Rooney as our captain. But one thing that he always has said is that it doesn't matter what their name is. He'll give a chance to every single player as long as they play well. So it's so hard to bring Ander Herrera in when Fellaini is playing that role. But I personally think if we're playing 4-1-2-1-2 and Mata is not doing so well, even though the stats are showing he's doing great for United, but on the field he's not the same Juan Mata as he was for Chelsea. I would really honestly want to see Ander Herrera on the whole, but I'm pretty sure Rooney wants to play in his preferred position because he loves that position.
But you are talking about, and it's very, very valid to bring up that about statistics about Mata, because this week it's a week of talk about stats, and you have people comparing David Moyes and Louis van Gaal with how they got started, this and that. We've published a series of articles on the blog rubbishing that. It just goes to show that we all know stats aren't everything, and for me, the naked eye beats stats every single time. We know Matt is not performing as well as we know he can do. We know there's more encouraging signs under Louis van Gaal than there is under David Moyes. But why do people just stop, look at stats, and take it as the Bible? I really don't understand that, and it's usually, I suppose, opposition fans get one over us and so on, and some of us might do it to them, but naked eye is much more powerful than a simple, basic, computerized statistic.
I just feel like the thing with stats is a way to show that our player, for example, is better than their player. Like let me just say this right out loud. Eden Hazard was 1 goal and 2 assists this whole season until he scored again off of a soft penalty kick, right? But nobody tells anything about his stats because of how well he performs on the pitch. That's all that matters. Personally, I think it's more important how you perform on the pitch as opposed to what stats mean, But obviously, stats is just a background. Like for example, right now, Danny Welbeck, obviously, he's starting every week. I think he has around 4 goals or something, and right now everybody's like, Arsenal fans or Liverpool fans are slating Falcao, saying, "Oh, he had just 1 goal. Thank God we didn't get him." Are you serious? I mean, who would you pick honestly, Falcao or Danny Welbeck? I love Danny Welbeck, but I'm just saying in terms of football.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer, obviously. But I just think that stats, obviously, it's like a thing that they use for arguing and stuff. But I do want to say something about this David Moyes versus Louis van Gaal comparison. That's just the papers to sell stuff. That's just for them just to sell papers for people to read and trying to act like, oh yeah, Louis van Gaal. Louis van Gaal is a winner. He won it at Barcelona. He won it at Bayern. He won it at Ajax. And hopefully one day he's going to win it at United in a couple of years. David Moyes was such a negative person. He was telling the players of how not to lose as opposed to how to win. Louis van Gaal, attacking philosophy. We see his philosophy right now, how the players playing. If we were 1-0 down, on Sunday, and he was our manager, David Moyes was, right away I'll turn off the TV and be like, we're gonna be 5-0 down in a minute, you know. But we fought till the end, and that's all. That's all we fans want to see, is that our players playing till the end. 10 people, city champions, they call themselves. Yeah, the library, the empty hot, they can't even sell out. Then tonight, congratulations, you got another side, buy one get one free. Good job. But I just want to say one thing is that it's a progress. You know, you see that, and he's gonna give him time, because last year everybody, not even when I was talking to my friends. And one thing they tell you is, why didn't I give David Moyes time? And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, look, we got battered by Liverpool, Everton, Man City towards the end of the season. If we saw some improvement, right, things might have changed. He still probably would have gotten sacked, but we don't see that. We see Van Gaal always talks about his philosophy. He always talks about, you know, what he wants to bring. But under David Moyes,
he sells it to you. He makes it sound promising, and you want more of it. You get a bit and you want more of it.
What do we play under David Moyes? I don't know. You know, every manager could have read David Moyes from back of his hand. You know,
the move system, route one.
Exactly. You know, against Fulham, we had apparently the most crosses. That's embarrassing. You know, but as I said before, it's improving. The papers can say whatever they want, worst start ever, and Louis van Gaal is known to have a slow start because he's trying to implement his system. You know, he changed his whole team. David Moyes was being a coward, and for some reason he thought he's going to inherit the champions. Pep Guardiola or Jose Mourinho, if they became our manager, they would immediately spend. Only Sir Alex Ferguson, the genius, it was the only person that was capable to take this team to winning the 20th title.
He covered holes, Sir Alex Ferguson. He was able to cover a number of holes, and I think if we were being honest with ourselves, we'd say that the squad that he left was an ordinary squad. No, they won the league, but he made that ordinary squad a far superior squad. And when he left, it shouldn't have been that much of a surprise that we did worse off. But I don't think the squad that was a squad that shouldn't be getting top four. It should have been. And there's no excuse for that. The difference is, of course, David Moyes took over a side that were champions of England, and you know, mentally they were strong, they were confident. Old Trafford was still a fortress.
Right.
He left. He left a side that was no longer that. Old Trafford was no longer a fortress. So Louis van Gaal's job is the opposite: to pick Manchester United back up in the pits.
Yeah.
And that's not going to happen. That's not going to be easy. But there's right now, there's definitely encouraging signs. I'm confident, very confident that we're going to turn us around. And next year, as you said, United keep going the way they are and stand by this manager. We're going to be challenging.
Exactly. You know, we're not going to be aspired to be City. You know, we're not going to say we tried every single match, every press conference. Even when we beat QPR 4-0, he still wasn't happy. He was happy, but he was like, we need to get better. This guy, every single press conference says we need to get better because he wants to see that improvement day in, day out. If we lost 1-0 against City and David Moyes was our manager, he'll be so happy, right? Because we lost 1-0. Because that was just the person he was, you know? He was too negative. And the biggest mistake, honestly, I personally think, is that he got rid of Brendan Molestein and Mike Phelan, two of the people that could have been the backbone and could have told him what's the inside sources and out of United. But instead, he got too cocky with it, coming straight from Everton to one of the biggest clubs in the world, or the biggest clubs in the world, you know, and brought in Steve Round, you know. And last year was atrocious. It was by far, since, you know, I'm 20 years old, and that's the worst thing I've ever seen. But Louis van Gaal, he's the right man. He's showing it, and it's great to see Ryan Giggs learning from him, and hopefully one day Ryan Giggs will step as our manager. But I do think Ryan Giggs needs to go out and, you know, and join get experience, because that for his own personal goal, you know, because it's very different than being a gaffer and just being an assistant coach.
Moving on, we have one more topic just before we wrap it up. This is a short preview, as they always are. We'll be reviewing again after the game. Anderson, according to reports, has been told that in January the club will terminate his contract.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you whether that's the right or wrong thing to do, because I think I know. I'm guessing you're going to say it's the right thing to do because no one will take him. He's not good enough tonight. But it does feel as if we've spent a long time kind of saying he's going to get better, he's going to give him time, he's going to get better, he has the promise. I think, to be honest, he has all the talent in the world. The problem is he hasn't got the work ethic to put his head down and get back on track and just use his ability to become a regular at the biggest club in the world. He was great when he arrived, and then it was a steady decline.
Well, we got him from FC Porto for 26 million. He was supposedly going to be the next future whatever star. Yeah. Oh God, let's not even go there. But the thing with him is that when he wasn't playing off the pitch, he wasn't helping himself out. Nando's, Burger King, McDonald's, every fast food chain was helping him out off the pitch. The thing with Anderson is, I do want to say one thing he did, and I'll never forget this, is that your captain, if a Chelsea fan is watching this, because there's always bandwagon, there's always plastic fans, your captain, John Terry, Viva John Terry, he missed that Champions League, but who did? Anderson didn't, and I thank Anderson for that. I think that's the only thing I could say about Anderson is that he did not miss penalty kick, you know?
Yeah, of course. I think the night in Moscow is...
You know, that's the only thing.
Yeah, his first season was good at United, and he memorably caused a bit of hassle for Steven Gerrard at Anfield in the centre of the park.
Yeah.
And that was probably his one of his best performances.
Even against QPR in the 11-12 season, I believe it was. We were 1-0 down to QPR, and he came on, and I was shocked for him coming on, but he changed the game, and we won 3-1 after that, which was impressive. But he'll be. I think even Era has said it. He was a jokester in the team. He really didn't care much anymore. He was just like goofing around, and to I can't believe he was 7 years in the club. And
the one thing I will say about when I'm watching him, and just when you're at Old Trafford, you see Anderson with the ball and carrying the ball through midfield. For a guy that appears quite heavy, and for as bad as a player United fans would make him out to be, I haven't seen many players able to carry the ball at such speed. When he's in possession, he runs like a train. Get in front of him and he'll smash you. He's a unit, and he's very fast on the ball. Of course, there's other areas he's terrible in. His passing is atrocious. All around his game is not very, very good, and it speaks volumes that United are having time trying to sell him. They can't even sell him. They're talking terminate his contract, which is going to cost the club more money.
1.4. Yeah, 1.4. Yeah. It's and as I said, one thing about that, that all goes back to how Ferguson was a genius, and the biggest thing United made mistake was that we weren't spending because of his brilliance, and the planning was awful. Now we see how bad, how behind we are because we need to invest, but because of his brilliance, we weren't investing, and he was just out of ordinary players. He was making them into top class players, just because of his own brilliance, and I think that was the biggest thing. And I'm just still shocked that Anderson was with us for still a long time, but however, he has 4 titles and Steven Gerrard has 0. He has nothing. John, it's impressive.
Just before we do wrap it up, one question from Stuart Bruin on Twitter. He asked, would anyone figure out why we have so many fucking injuries, or are we just cursed?
I think we've even last year we started getting a lot of injuries. I personally think now one of the arguments could be that Louis van Gaal is trying to get most out of the players with the 2-time training sessions. That might warn them out. We even got a new physio from Southampton. I believe it was Daniel Radcliffe or I think he was
Southampton.
Yeah, and he's apparently. I talked to one of my friends. He's a Saints fan. And he said he's apparently one of the best. There's a lot of internal problems within United that we don't know about. But this is we're turning into Arsenal with these curses, honestly, with these injuries. But it needs to get better and better because if Johnny Evans is fit and he comes off, he's obviously made out of glass too. He's gonna get injured right away, which is everybody's fear. Because every week in, week out, whenever we play, we always feel like one player is gonna get injured, and that's not something we want to see. Because we need to get to top 4, and we can't always rely on Tyler Blackton and Paddy McNair putting all these pressures on these youngsters, and then for the media to come and batter them to pieces if they do one single individual error. If that makes sense.
Yeah, but, absolutely.
That's the same thing. Even Adnan Januzaj last year, he was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant. A lot of the things he put, his first start against Sunderland when he scored that screamer 2-0, he scored 2 goals. He put the whole team on his back. An 18-year-old kid by that time. He was 18. And it just shows you that it's not good always to rely on a youth player. But thanks to him, we got a lot of it. And I just think that hopefully the injuries start getting less because it's going to hurt us long term. But we need to get lost. Yeah, exactly. We need to get any injuries. Yeah, exactly. We need to get to top 4, presumably by Christmas, or 1 point or 2 points by Christmas comes around, because that's going to be vital to us. And this Arsenal game after Crystal Palace, that is key at the Emirates, and we need to snatch up 3 points.
Yeah.
Arsenal and Liverpool are figured. Yeah.
First away win of the season, make it happen at the Emirates.
Yeah. Exactly, and hopefully Danny Welbeck won't score against us. But if he does score, I hope we'll still win that match. I still love Welbs, and I'm still gutted to see him go. I still wish him the best of luck.
It doesn't feel right sitting in an Arsenal jersey, does it?
Nah, he's a Manc. That's what it is. He's a Mancunian. And right now, as I said, right now one of my favorites for Dollar Blackhead. He's also Mancunian. He's gonna be one of my favorite players to keep watching. He always has been, but I never expect him to be in the first team. Never thought. But one thing before we wrap up, Dale, is that Tom Thorpe. I think he should get a chance. I think
everyone will get a chance. There's no question about that. I think it's Van Gaal is an expert when it comes to giving players that leeway. And I think that unless he thinks he's ready, when Tom Thorpe is ready for Van Gaal, he'll be playing. He's not ready right now. But look, the more players that come through, the better. And hopefully, if we do see McNair at the weekend, he continues his good form. And as a youngster, it's great seeing a graduate come into the first team. When called upon, you know, when you're suffering from injuries, that's what the youngsters are there for. And then they get their opportunity. They either take it or they don't take it. And if they take it, you hope to see him again. McNair, Tyler Blackett, James Wilson, they've all taken their chances. I know Jesse Lingard coming back in the first team training next week. When he got his chance around this season before he got injured, he had a great other game.
I was there. I was there. I saw him. That was great.
But yeah, that's it for this preview. I'd like to thank Pasha for joining me. Of course.
Thank you for everything.
Yeah, you're welcome. Jonathan could not come back on. I think Falcon must have spilled on the connection.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it anyway. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for joining me, Passion.
Thank you, Dale.